Welcome back to Clemox. This is Gillis TV here. And yesterday I was reading through Facebook and stuff and saw Kurt Leavins posted that the Edmonton Oilers and Phil Kessel have mutual interest. Before we get that started, if you want more NHL content, MLB content, and I think we are going to start doing uh, NFL, hit that subscribe button, that like button, and let's get going. As like I said, Kurt Leavins came out with a bombshell yesterday saying that the Oilers and Kessel have mutual interests. And that got me thinking, is adding Kessel to this already high potent offense that the Edmonton Oilers have is actually could be realistic. And there are a few ways, and it all depends on Yamamoto, Jesse Puljujärvi, and Ryan McLeod. So there are a few scenarios we could go through. As you know, Ryan McLeod didn't file for arbitration. The last thing I heard about that is it could be in the $1 to $2 million range, somewhere in the middle there, which for Ryan McLeod, he's only had one real year under his belt for the NHL. I can see it being kind of like a 2 year, $1.5 million a year deal, which would leave Edmonton with 400 or 4.8 million or so left to play with to sign Puljujärvi and Yamamoto. Well, word on this that's been going around Edmonton lately has been Puljujärvi's on his way out of Edmonton, or that's what everyone else is reporting. Because with 4.8 million left, you cannot sign Puljujärvi or Yamamoto. It is impossible to do it. You look at what Kapanen just signed for, and that was 3+ million with Pittsburgh. And Yamo and Puljujärvi had better years than him. If I'm Ken Holland, I'm keeping Yamamoto over Puljujärvi. Just the offensive instincts, the physical play for a small guy. He does it all. He could be on the penalty kill. He's on that power play. It really helps the Edmonton Oilers in that aspect. And he's a consistent player. Puljujärvi got most of his points at the start of the season playing with McDavid. Yes, Yamamoto got most of his points playing with Ryan McDavid. I understand that, but it was consistent. It wasn't like Puljujärvi where there were stretches of games where Puljujärvi wouldn't even record a point. And I get there's injury problems and stuff, but out of the two, you go and sign Yamamoto instead. So let's say Puljujärvi gets traded for a pick. Okay, you get Yamamoto for $3 million. You got 1.8 million left. Trade Warren Foegele and that pick, and a pick to a team that's under the salary cap that could use a guy like Warren Foegele. All of a sudden, you got back up to $3.5 million. That's where you come in and sign Phil Kessel. I know Phil Kessel's old. He'll be 30. I think it's 35 on October 2nd here. The Oilers could use a guy like Phil Kessel in the lineup. He played all 82 games last year. He is on an Iron Man streak as it is right now for games played. And he hasn't really fallen off the snide, really. Even playing in Arizona the last 3 seasons. Yes, he played in Boston, Toronto, Pittsburgh. But getting traded to the Arizona Coyotes, his first season, 38 points in 70 games. Sure, that was the COVID, when all COVID stuff happened. In the shortened season, 56 games, he had 43 points his second season in Arizona. That's playing with Clayton Keller, not guys named McDavid, Draisaitl, Kane, Hyman, Nuge. None of those guys. That's playing with Clayton Keller is a good player, but not superstar player. Imagine Kessel was a superstar player, and in that season he put up 43 points in 56 games. Yes, his plus minus the last 3 years sucks, but when you play on Arizona, that's gonna be what happens. And then you look at last year, he played all 82 games. He had 52 points. He had 8 goals, 44 assists. So he was more of a playmaker than a goal scorer. But that's fine. as long as he's helping out, putting the puck in the net, he is a consistent player. You go back to his first year. He had 11 goals in his rookie year, 19, 36, 30, 32, 37, 20, 37. 20 was in the 48 game lockout season. 37, 25, 26, 23, 34, 27, 14 in the COVID year, 20 in the shortened season, and 8 last year. The guy averages 20 plus goals a year. Why wouldn't you want to add Phil Kessel to this already dominant lineup of the Edmonton Oilers? And, like, it just makes sense for me to add a guy. You know, even if it's a 1 year, players want to come to Edmonton now. We actually have a winning team. Why not add more? I know some people are saying, let's upgrade our defense. You know what? Maybe that upgrade on defense comes at the trade deadline when we see where the team is. There's no reason the Edmonton Oilers should not be a top 3 team in the Pacific for this year, next year. Like, even with Calgary's whole shakeup, Huberdeau's not going to make up the points Gaudreau and Tkachuk did. You know, LA got Kevin Fiala. They're a bit better. Vegas had to trade Pacioretty, which was one of their all-stars. Like, this Edmonton Oilers team is a top 3 team. Players want to come here, play for the Edmonton Oilers because of McDavid, because of Draisaitl, because they're winning as it is. So, I said after you trade Foegele 3.7, people are saying just sign Kessel a year, 1 year, 1 million, 1.5. If you could get Kessel for under 2 million, a guy that averages 20 goals a year, I'm sorry, that's a win for the Edmonton Oilers. They did it with Kane, and I could see Kessel coming to Edmonton to just play with McDavid. You see he's on the ice. He's a right-handed shot. That's good for the Edmonton Oilers' second power play unit. We don't have many righty shot forwards. Most are all lefties. As, you know, yeah, we got Hyman, but you look at, I believe Kane's a lefty, Draisaitl's a lefty, McDavid's a lefty, Nuge is a lefty. Kessel brings that other side of the dynamic for the scoring that the Edmonton Oilers need. And in his career, he has 956 points in 1,204 games. He's what, 0.9 points per game player? I'd add a veteran like him. He's won a Stanley Cup. He can bring it. Look at what Duncan Keith did with Evan Bouchard this year. Took him under his wing. Bouchard learned more. You can use a guy like Kessel for Yamamoto and McLeod and, you know, to teach some forward things and whatnot. And the guy has 399 goals. You know he wants to score his 400th. Let's do it in Edmonton. Let's bring Phil Kessel to Edmonton. And yeah, you guys can make the comments about all the hot dog eating. And, you know, maybe the hot dogs aren't the greatest in Alberta. Don't know. I don't really eat hot dogs, but it is what it is. But anyway, you guys stay frosty out there. Have a good rest of your day. And let me know in the comments, would you bring Kessel in if we did, say, trade Foegele out of the equation to sign him to a higher end contract, or is the $1 million to $1.75 million contract worth it? Let us know in the comments. Hope you guys have a good one. Stay safe out there.